number one fan. I'm your number one fan. Gotta understand, I got a plan. Go for what you want, might be what you thought. You gotta take a chance. Gotta understand, I'm your number one fan. Number one fan.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another edition here on the KSN podcast, Kurt Social Network, episode 23. I'm your host, Kurt the Magnificent. Tonight, we got something really good. We're going to talk about those Knicks, they won that NBA title. And I got a guest that's coming on who's a diehard Knicks fan, someone that I watched the Knicks growing up with. At his house for many years, a lot of yelling and screaming and shouting and cheering. And, it's just great to, get to hear and his perspective on what happened throughout this 2025-2026 season. This is my uncle. This is family. And let's give it up in a good hand from a good person, Mr. John Suttles. Mr. John Suttles. Let's go. Big John Suttles.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing, John?
How you doing, man?
Good. I like that Knicks shirt.
It's good talking to you. Yes, I had to put it on. You know what the order about this? That I would not wear it until they win it.
Yeah.
And you know me about the Knicks. So
I know.
anything that would mess it up, I won't touch it. So that's how I love them. You know that?
Yeah, I know you do, man. You're a huge Knicks fan. Thank you for coming on. John here is actually the father of my first guest that was on the KSN podcast, which was Jonathan Suttles, aka Suttles, Easy Fit. So, and he's gonna come on, and like I said, I watched at his house. We watched at numerous places, the Knicks, and John, we go back, a lot of shouting and cheering, heartbreak, sorrows, and I guess after last week on Saturday night, it was all wiped away.
Yes, it was. Long time coming. It was so great to see those guys win that championship the way they did it, and they did it as a team. They did it as working, and they knew down the stretch who was the man to give it to. And that shows that they were so connected in that run. And man, it was I don't have no words for it. It was so great to see it after 45 years of watching these guys and pushing it. Yes, I started watching it like 45 years ago, and I fell in love with them. And with me and my son used to watch it on the couch, and I would be yelling. Sometimes he would fall asleep, and I yell so hard he wakes up. Jonathan wakes right up. I said, "Yo, man, I'm sorry, man, but these guys are killing me."
Yeah.
But we finally got it, man. We finally got it. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, we did. We finally got it. And, you talk about it 45 years ago. So that was like the early 80s, 1980-81 season.
Yeah.
That's what made you start watching the Knicks? What made you start watching?
Well,
what happened?
I watched the Knicks. I watched them earlier when I went to New York. I'm from Alabama, by the way. And I used to watch them with my guys. And we have a boarding room we used to, work at. We used to live in. My cousin and a couple of my friends, and we was go to my cousin's TV because he had the Knicks on. We was young then. We was running the streets and doing what we do, but we always watched the Knicks before we went out. So that was one of the prime on Friday night before we went out, or either Saturday nights, and we would go out, go up the street and hang out at the bars and everything. But the Knicks, we always watched them because my older cousin always had them on TV. And this is the time that I had just finished school and just moved to New York, and that's when I fell in love with him,
Wow.
and never fell out in love with all the heartbreaks and everything from 77 to now,
Wow.
and 78 and all those guys, all that time. We was just it was just heartbreaks, just wishing the Knicks would win. And up until now, last like I said, with this shirt, I got so many shirts, so many Knicks shirts
Yes.
I want
Yes.
to wear. Yeah, I noticed one thing about them at one point that it seemed like every time I wear this shirt, man, these guys lose. So I stopped wearing their pairs. I said, maybe they can win. I got so many. I got like maybe 10 or 12 paraphernalia shirts up in the closet now. I had never worn. And when they won last
Saturday.
yes, I put a shirt on. And I don't think my wife even knew that shirt. Where I got the shirt. So long ago that I had this shirt that I stopped wearing their paraphernalia and packed it away. And I just said,
Right.
hey, when they win it, I'll start wearing it. So
Wow.
happen with these things. So I got so many of them.
Well, John, look at that. Wearing that shirt, and you can wear all of them now because, like you said, we finally got it. We finally was able to, see it. I was, at least me for myself, I was able to see it. But as you a fan, you were able to finally see it, and all those heartbreaking sorrows, like I said, are going away. So thank you for talking about a little history of that, John. And let's kind of keep going with that. Did you like playing basketball? What made you start watching playing basketball?
Played basketball when I was in high school, and I always played it as a guard, off guard. I was a good
Okay.
shooter.
Oh, okay.
But at the time of that, I was in high school in Alabama. There was rules that was that this was 77 when the segregated rules,
Okay.
and they were
Ala-
just bringing segregated
South
champs.
Carolina, Alabama.
It was Alabama. I finished school in South Carolina, but in
Okay.
Alabama, I spent my first 17 years through high school. So
Mhm.
it was always a thing that you had to have half players. You had to have 15 players on the team. The Caucasian, I don't want to say white or Caucasian, had to be 7%. It had to have over 50% of the players.
Mhm.
So you can only pick from 6 players on the black team for black to play ball.
Gotcha.
And I was always left out. I'm not saying I wasn't good enough. I'm not saying things played out differently from what it is, but the chances was cut short. So we always played in the backyard or either on my friend's court, dirt flying everywhere. Everybody and automatic. You don't know nothing about this. We played on so when you pack down dirt hard enough, becomes hard enough, and put a little rain on it, it became clay. and that's how we played. The ball would bounce good, and we didn't have rims. We had a 20-inch bicycle tie ring.
That was your
You
room.
would see it. I know you've seen it before. 20-inch. It's almost the almost perfect diameter of a basketball rim,
Right.
and that's how we played. It was my first love at sports, and
Where in
I don't
Alabama,
want to get into
John?
all my personal things, but you go. It was something I always wanted to do, play ball, but
Where in Alabama, John? What high school too?
there was Talladega County High School,
Okay.
and it's actually located in Lincoln, Alabama.
Okay.
And
Good to know.
there was a lot of good players, but the status said you got to have more white than blacks.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much what I said. And they cut out a lot of people. And I'm not saying I'm not dreaming on that and laying on that, but that's the way it was. And basketball was my first love. I just put it that way.
Now you had the love. You get here to New York eventually. You start watching the Knicks with your friends, and then you just eventually start watching on the couch, being a family man. And through the 80s, the rough 80s with Bernard King, and then eventually we get Patrick Ewing in that number 1 pick in 85. And then we get through the rest of the 80s where they finally start flourishing. Talk about that era, if you remember.
I always thought that Patrick Ewing and Bernard King really didn't have a chance to flourish.
Right.
They should have let that team stay together for a couple more years and see what they can do. But they traded Bernard, and Bernard went to, I think it was Washington, right?
Yes, he ended up going to Washington. The Bullets.
Yeah, and he came back to the Garden and lit us up. I remember that night. He lit us up with 55 or something. He lit us up. Huh?
I don't know if it was 55, but he had a good game.
He had a great game. And the Knicks thought he was done. But that team, I thought they had a chance to do it, and they just broke it up too early. I don't know why they let him go, or because of money situation or whatever it is. I just thought that team was a better fit because he had 2 dominant players at that time, and that's all you needed at that time to win.
Right.
You really didn't need that third player like they have now. If you got 2 players that's really dominant, and that was Patrick and Bernard, and they should have left that team together for a little while longer, a couple of years longer. And as it went on, and then they traded, and they got.
I don't know if they traded. I don't think they traded. I think what happened was they didn't resign. They didn't sign him, so he signed.
They didn't sign him. But I thought that team would have had a great chance of winning the championship, but they broke it up.
Now you go through the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then you go to the 80s when you got Patrick, you got Oakley, you got
Mark Jackson's coming in off the draft. Yep.
And then you remember you had Sprinkling on that team with Mark Jackson. Sprinkling and Mark Jackson was on the same team.
Yeah.
So and they were
rookie of the years. They both were rookie of the years.
Yeah, they both were rookies of the year, and they had problems with. They had problems. I don't know what the problems are. They had problems with each other, or either the league had the organization had problems with it. But they traded.
Strickland. Yep.
They traded Strickland, and then they didn't sign Mark Jackson back.
No, they didn't understand that. They traded Mark Jackson to the Clippers for Charles Smith.
Yeah, they make that trade off to Charles Smith. That's how you got Charles Smith. Now you got no guard.
Well, they had Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers was also in that trade too, because Doc Rivers came from the Clippers.
He came in and did. But Mark Jackson, I feel that Mark Jackson was the guy to take him, and Strickland would have been. Either one of those guards would have been able to do better. Not better. I'm not going to say better, but I thought they would be a better fit for the team.
Right. So now you get through that, going into that late 80s, early 90s, you get those guys. You get Xavier McDaniel for 1 year, and then John Starks and Anthony Mason starting to come in off the bench, but they fill in the roles. And then you get to the 93 season, which everybody says that might have been probably one of the best chances for the Knicks in the 90s, 93, the other years in 94 and even 97. But the 93 season, you had the Bulls, and then it comes to that game 5 with Charles Smith, blows the layups, or gets his shots blocked. He gets shots blocked.
3 times, right?
Yeah, 3
That's
times.
the one you're talking about. That was a heartbreaker. But I still feel myself, this is me. I still feel that the league did the Knicks a big disjustice. Fighting at that time was almost part of the game. And they threw Patrick Ewing off by putting his toe on the line.
This is the 97 series against Miami. Yeah.
Miami. His toe on the line. Right now, they don't even look at that. They don't even look at that anymore. I've seen guys run out on the court and nothing has been done to that. And that was just something that I felt that David Stern wanted Michael to have it. And it feel like, to me, the league owed them a series. It was just little crazy stuff that you had never heard of, all of a sudden comes out of the network. I'm not putting it on the league. They knew the rules, but it is what it is. You know me. I'm gonna tell you how I felt about it, and I felt that even this past championship, there was a lot of questions that the referees did not call for the Knicks. They should have called.
I agree.
It's a lot of them, and it was just something that they was trying to get money from them, or make it go longer to get more money for it. But we got the big body Bronson. He said he put the team on his back and said we would not lose this game, and that's what he did. Yeah, they knocked him down, beat him up, broke his neck, and everything. Well, still, I'm coming up, and we're gonna win. We're gonna win this series, and you got to give it to him.
Yeah, definitely. You have to give it to Brunson and those guys. That team is just embarked and embodied somewhat that 90s feel a little bit. You see a lot of the 90s Knicks there watching and part of the organization and just loving what this new team has done, this championship team has done. And it's great because, we talk about the history of it, right? And now after that 90s era, even from 94, 99, getting to the finals, but, not making it. You have them dark years to the 2000s, the 2010s. Remember those years? Years, John?
Yeah, man. Steph goes in the 7th pick, and we got the 8th pick.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Steph Curry, I know. We could have had him. We could have had Donovan Mitchell, I think, too.
Donovan Mitchell. It was just things that we was there and never was able to get over the hump. The players that we needed, and it was a lot. It was a lot of things that happened and within that time, because you always got your hope up and hoping that players would be better than what they, and JR always, and then you got
Carmelo came.
Carmelo. I give Carmelo his props. And everybody put it on Carmelo by what's the guy named?
Phil Jackson?
No, not Jackson. The point guard.
Oh, you're talking about Jason Kidd, Raymond Felton?
No, I'm
Jeremy
talking
Lin.
about
Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin, the Lin Sandy.
Lin Sandy. Mm-hmm.
And they put it on Melo. I don't think Melo had anything to do with that. It's just that when the contract was up, he had to go. He had to take the highest bidder. That's what's named in the contract. But Melo didn't have nothing to do with it. He would love to have Jeremy Lin. So I thought we had a chance with Melo. But what's the other guy got hurt? What's his name?
Oh, Stoudemire. Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, Stoudemire wasn't able to do anything at that time. It was something, always something. Patrick Ewing getting a finger broken, all that, he can't play in the playoff. It was always something that tripped us up not to be able to take the championship. And That's what everybody's feeling. I think everybody's feeling because we went through we went through a lot with these guys, man. We went through a lot with that team. And you put up your whole heart and soul on that team just to win, win, win. Maybe this might be the year. This might be the year. This might be. You never give up hope that they would make it there. And when you seen Bronson just take the game and put it on his shoulder and said, "We going there. We are going there." And that was something that you seen Michael Jordan do. You seen Kobe do. You seen Shaq do. You see all these guys just take a game on their shoulders and say, "Hey, we're not going to lose tonight. We will be winners." And that's what Bronson did. That's where he goes up there in that banner with those guys.
John. John, you talk about that, right? How he never give up and believe, and that has been his thing since he's got here with the Knicks, and even this season. This season really showed how the Knicks never give up. They never ever give up. There was many games this year. They never give up when they won games or make the games closer, interesting. And then the playoffs, we've seen it, just the way and the will. The Atlanta Hawks series, down 2-1. Next thing you know, they changed that new offense up. Shout out to Mike Brown. And they were clicking. Philadelphia put them away. Cleveland, game 1, you thought Cleveland might have figured something out. Nope, we figured it out, put them away. And then we get to the finals. And, of course, I think Spurs gave us game 2 with Wemby's mistakes. But we were always down in the finals in the beginning, but we will make the comeback. But that game 4, 29-point lead comeback, that explained and showed everything what the Knicks were all year.
Man, that game was so iconic. One of my friends up there that lived next to you called me the other day, and he was talking about it. I had forgot it. I'm saying, how did I forget that game? And that was the fourth game. He was saying, "No, John, it was against." I was saying it was against Cleveland. He was saying, "No, it was against San Antonio." I said, "Oh man, how did I forget this? That
Come
was
on,
crazy."
John. How you forget that?
Hey, oh man. My buddy called me and we was talking about that, man. And I said, that was so dramatic. How did I forget that? I still don't know how I forgot that. But the thing is that these guys played for each other. Benson would never been able to drive that ball down the middle of that ball if they didn't scratch the court out for it. Those guys were in positions that they had to be for him to do what he needed to do. And in every position, play basketball the way it should have been played at all times. And it was so nice and beautiful to see. Let's say you can see Bridges go out to the corner. Then you see Ananova go out to the corner. They stretching the floor on him, and they pulling the big man out of there as much as he can. And you got Hart stand up on top. And you got these guys are playing ball the way they had to play ball and let your leader lead you. If he needs to kick the ball out, he know where the corner's at. He know who's where they should be. If they not there, then the ball is gone. But he knows if I need to kick this ball back out, I know where my player should be. If I got his man dragging him along with me going down the middle, I know where my player should be. You ain't got to look back. You should know, you should be in your spot. Bam, kick the ball out. You should be at that angle right over there. And he should catch the ball and have a wide open shot. If he sees his man pull in on him. So that's the way basketball was basically was set up to be. You should know what your position is, play your positions, and be in your positions at the time of contact, of winning. That's what you should be. Now, if you look at that play with Alanova tipping it in, the play went wrong for San Antonio, for the Knicks, actually. The ball should have been swung back to Anunoby because his defensive man ran to double team Brunson.
Right.
Anunoby was wide open and had a wide open dunk because if you look at it, that Wembanyama double team Brunson, if he would have passed the ball to Anunoby, he had a wide open dunk.
Yeah.
He had a wide open dunk. If you look at the play, he got a wide open lane. The lane is like 4 lanes going right down the middle of that court, on the corner of that court. He had a wide open dunk. But that's the way the game's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But they played it.
I think the tip.
And he did what he's supposed to do. Follow that shot because he's a forward.
I think the tip made it even more special, and that's probably the biggest play.
It was dramatic,
Yeah, I think that's the biggest play in Knicks history. The biggest play in Knicks, to me, I think.
Being that on the stage it was on at the time, yes, it was the biggest play in this Knicks history because that was at the finals. And remember the other play. I don't know if you can stack that up. Larry Johnson hitting that 4-point
Nah.
So you don't stack that up with that because the status of the game.
Yeah. Different type, different play of the game, different part of the game, different part of the playoffs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
John, I thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts on the Knicks winning finally, giving us a little history of you and about the Knicks. And again, I appreciate you. Like I said, I was there in that living room, hanging with you on the couch for many games throughout my life.
You know who I am. I wake up the whole building.
Yeah.
You know who I am. I'm all into it, man. And something crazy go off on that. I live and die with the Knicks, man. And so with the Giants too. But I live and die with those guys, man.
John is currently in Georgia now, but them years we talking about, that's when he was in Yonkers. And I know if you was here, you probably going to that parade, shouting.
Yeah. So. I'll be right with you guys. I'll be right down there with you guys. You know me. I'll be right there with you guys and enjoying all the festivities and all that thing, what's going on. And you guys be safe, man.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate you again. Thank you very much for coming on. Stay on. Don't go nowhere yet. I also appreciate the engineer Doc, SM Enlightenment Radio, for helping out, putting this together, producing. And this is another edition here on the KSN podcast, the Kurt Social Network. I'm your host, Kurt the Magnificent. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Peace, love. You already know. Y'all have a good night, y'all.